Where to begin? Where do I even begin? Okay, so, I'm gonna have to spit some hard truth, and I'm gonna just be completely honest with all of you Chibits, and you all deserve it, because I love you, and you all come here because you want to hear my actual real thoughts. This episode of Kabaneri, the best way to kind of summarize this episode is, kind of ironically, a train wreck. That is, I think, the best way to kind of summarize this episode. Now, I know many of you are probably going to already be saying, like, Chibi, why didn't you like this episode? Why didn't you like this episode? Let me explain. I'll explain my points. Don't worry. I'll give all my points out. I just gotta say that I am just absolutely flabbergasted after watching this episode, because I have been loving Kabaneri since the beginning. I have loved it. I've showed my appreciation for the show. I've showed my interest. I've liked the setting. I like the zombie theme. It's rare to get a zombie type anime, so I like these type of series. And when I got into the series, I was really interested in it. I liked the story and all that. Besides, somewhat to make comparisons with Attack on Titan, it was still a very good series. I enjoyed it. And the art animation with the music, too, it looked beautiful. So, yeah. Anyways, this episode, okay? Let me just put out a couple of points here. There's multiple points. Not just one, but multiple points. I know one of the main ones that many are probably going to be talking about and discussing is the, energy blast, the laser beam, the hyper beam, whatever fucking name you want to attach on to a laser, okay? There was a laser energy blast, key blast, shot out from a Kabaneri after they were turning into like a Kabane, and do I even need to explain why that's bad? Like, okay, let me start. The presentation of this series, Iron Fortress, has been kind of interesting because it had this survival theme to it, like about zombies being, in hordes and hunting people down, eating them, and turning them into, more Kabane, and then, how people are scared because they get bit, it's completely over, and then we found out that, you can get bit, and somehow you can kind of counteract against the virus and be half zombie, half human, and it was really cool. I love the presentation of it. It's not entirely original, but it was really good, and I like the zombie theme with it, because we don't get many zombie animes. So, I was jumping into the series because I'm like, holy shit, the theme of this is awesome. It's set into where humanity is having to survive. They're running from zombies. They're on trains. And, they're trying to make it to where people don't get bit. It's really cool. And it's also in a steampunk era. So it has that type of steampunk feel to it, that theme. And it was just a really awesome setting. The entire presentation of Kabaneri was awesome. Then, we got introduced to some of the other things about the zombies, of how some zombies could, use certain different tactics, or how they can, fight. Like, some zombies could fight instead of just being mindless and eating people, which was still another interesting thing to add into the series. I had no problem with. And when it came to, Kabaneris, or, Kabane actually turning into a colony and then, joining together, it was a little bit weird. I'm not gonna deny that, but I was willing to sit with it because I'm like, okay, that's interesting. I mean, it's kind of cool. It adds a little bit more depth to the zombies. So I'm like, you know what? Let's continue on. And then this episode comes around, and we have it to where a Kabaneri turns into a Kabane. Not completely, of course, because some form of the mind is still there, which we get to see, because, the girl actually reacts to Biba, and I think that's his name, reacts to him, and then she gets stabbed. So, apparently she was still all there, but apparently Kabaneris can shoot hyper beams, and oh my god, the fuck, like, I got into this series thinking it was a, survival, steampunk, zombie anime with nothing like energy blast. Like, think about this. If you would have started this series, episode 1, in which we all did, and if you were to walk into the first episode and see, or if someone would have told you that you would have energy blast, zombie shooting energy blast, just picture that in your mind right now. You started the first episode, and when someone walks up to you and says, this series is going to have energy blast, right? You'd probably say, like, what the fuck? No, just get the fuck out of here. You're lying to me. You would. You would. Don't even say it. You either, if you believe it, you'd be like, okay, I'm probably not going to watch this, or B, you know what, let's see, or C, you're just going to not believe it. One or the other. So, yeah, did you all picture we would get energy blasts from the series? Like, that right there? that of all things, with the presentation the series had with steampunk and all that, traveling on trains. What the fuck? Okay, so, another point. It's not just that. That bugs me quite a bit, and that's my own personal taste. But one thing that really gets to me is the villain. The characterization to the villain. The villain, oh my, Okay. The villain is so bad. Biba, the brother, whatever his fucking name is, so bad. So bad as a villain. I'm gonna explain why. The reason why he's such a bad fucking villain is because his motive, it's just so fucking stupid. I can't, care about his motive. I don't sympathize with him. I'm not on his side. And honestly, he's just so bland as a villain. I just don't give a shit at all. And his overall motive of the way he killed the entire town was stupid as fuck. He killed the entire fucking town just to teach everybody that the strong survives and the weak dies, and then also how we need to liberate the cowardice of humanity and kill the Shogun. I'm like, what the fuck? Like, what? Like, yo, you just killed an entire fucking town, thousands of people. Humanity's dying, of course. It's a dying species in this series, and you feed an entire fucking town just because you're a little bit salty about a fucking shogun in the past. Like, what? You're a little bit salty, and so you fucking sacrifice an entire town over a 10-year-old fucking grudge. What? Bro, that's some huge fucking salt. Like, the salt from Biba is insane. He is mad fucking salty. Too damn salty. Like, someone, seriously, holy shit, put an end to this guy. And it's not just that. What really got to me is how people could follow this guy. He's a fucking madman. He is a straight up madman that doesn't make any sense at all. Liberation, kill the Shogun, kill the cowardice of humanity. Like, what the fuck you even on about? Humanity is running from zombies because they're getting fucking eaten alive. Of course you would make a town to protect yourself. It makes fucking sense. That's a no-brainer. You would have to be brain dead to think that is cowardice of humanity. Yes, they've already established earlier on in the anime, humanity is cowards and they're letting fear control them. Fine. That might be where Bebo is trying to go, but it's not the point. He murdered an entire fucking town that was irrelevant to what happened 10 years ago because he was mad fucking salty. And then he expects all these people that has right there in front of him that just had their families eaten in front of him, this mother that just saw this child die in front of her, and you expect them to join you. Like, what the fuck? And then let's not even get into Mume. Oh my god. Okay, Mume seems to have finally realized the actions of her Ani-san, or, brother, whatever. She finally has seen what type of a fucking monster he is. And I swear, like, I'm not gonna even get into that. I'm not even gonna get into how idiotic that is, and I really hope Mume as a character doesn't just go back to her brother and like, oh, I want to be with you some more. I'm like, oh, don't do that shit. Just like, no. So, overall, this episode, oh my god, the characterization for the villain, just the worst. It was the worst out of this entire episode because it just made the entire episode cringe-worthy. It was so much fucking cringe when you saw how this villain was operating. And then when it came to the hyper beam fucking laser shit shooting out with explosions when the Kabaneri was already putting in work and slitting everybody's throats, I'm just like, no. I'm sorry, no. And, there's nothing wrong with any of you Chibits loving this episode. Nothing. If you love this episode, you think this was the best episode ever, there is no problem with that. You can love this episode. I will not judge any of you for that at all. But when it comes to my personal opinion and preference of this episode, it was the worst episode of Kabaneri, and honestly, I just don't know how a series can be so good if it has this type of episode that really just makes me question, should I have even started the series? I'm not joking. Now, obviously, I'm going to continue watching the series. I'll see how next week's episode is, and, I'm probably not going to drop it. I'm already this far into the damn series. I need to just finish it, unless it's like a 20-something episode series, which, oh god, please. Let me fucking check that right now. You know what? Let me just fucking check that on, I want to Kabaneri. Okay, Kabaneri. Let's check on the my anime list. How many episodes? Okay, 12 episodes. This was episode 9. Okay, so 3 more episodes of this if it is bad. Okay, that's not that bad. That isn't that bad. Just 3 more episodes. I can definitely deal with that. So, at the end of the day, I think the best way I can summarize this in one sentence. Energy Blast and Kabaneri make as much sense as Big Order. Facts. So, yeah, you all have a wonderful day or night wherever you live. Please be safe. Chibi out.